What is good, everybody? AHS Rules back again with another video as we're here for another Ring of Honor TV review, episode number 92 to be exact. A Thanksgiving edition of Ring of Honor Wrestling, so hopefully to those that celebrated the holiday, it was a safe and fun day, for myself included. It was a bit of a long day, but it was a good day because my Green Bay Packers won in the night game, and they finally gave Jordan Love his chicken leg, his turkey leg. I'm leaving that in there because that is hilarious and unscripted. Regardless, Thanksgiving is somewhat over and done with. We got Ring of Honor to go over, and Final Battle stuff was announced during the course of this episode. Only 2 things, so we'll go through it when it is needed. This is somewhat of a shorter episode of Ring of Honor, but as always, a lot happened, so let's just jump right into this episode. As the first thing that we see is Chris Jericho defeating Tomohiro Ishii. That happened on this week's edition of Dynamite, retaining the Ring of Honor World Championship. And then we hear a message from the Nueve, as he does come up with a new nickname in a couple of seconds. But he says that he hopes everybody had a bunch of turkey this Thanksgiving and that he defeated a turkey, referring to Tomohiro Ishii. And his new nickname is the King of New York, as he is preparing himself to return to New York and the Hammerstein Ballroom, to be exact, for Final Battle. And it does not matter who he faces at Final Battle. I will say, in passing on commentary, Ian Riccaboni said something about Jericho being in the main event, which, if you were to tell a lot of people that, they probably would be flabbergasted and against it. But we got 21 days until the event for him to find someone to face and to see what all is going to take place on the show. Later on in the review, I reveal one match that was announced, so we'll get to that. I'm going to actually do something that I might end up regretting. I'm going to go to the ROH Wikipedia page, or the Final Battle Wikipedia page, because the taping schedule has been all over the place because of the holiday season and Full Gear last week. So only one match has still been announced. I was like, I might spoil something for myself, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So episode 92 of Ring of Honor on Honor Club. The first match being EJ and Doku and Lee Johnson versus Anthony Gargano and the Cubes. I thought it said the Nukes. My handwriting was bad, but it is the Cubes. Q-U-B-E-S. And I feel this is his first time competing on Ring of Honor because I felt that I would remember that name. Regardless, Anthony and Johnson start the match off, but Ndoku tags in, taking out both of his opponents at the same time while keeping his sunglasses on. And then the collective, known as Lee J, win the match off of a spine buster into a neck breaker combo. A quick match takes place up next, with that being Queen Aminata versus Christine Marie. I do that a lot. Christine Marie. Aminata puts on a powerful performance that includes a running big boot and a head scissors submission that gives her the victory. As the next matchup is the Iron Savages versus the MXM Collection. Bronson and Mansoor start the match off without the Code of Honor because there's an incident where they were trying to touch tips and they didn't really want to do that, so there's no proper Code of Honor for this match. Once Mace and Boulder tag in, they struggle to get one another off of each other's feet. Boulder misses a suplex attempt after some bad footing, and then another miscommunication happens when Bronson gets taken to Titty City, which was not meant to happen. And the MXM Collection win after hitting the centerfold. As our next matchup is a match in the pure division, that being Josh Woods versus Matt Taven. There's 2 things I have to say prior to this. The judges for this match are Nigel McGuinness, Christopher Daniels, and Jerry Lynn. Let me backtrack. Nigel McGuinness, Christopher Daniels, and Jerry Lynn. And we see them in the backstage area being judges, and I feel, this is just a theory, that they forgot to bring the judges out to ringside and they just filmed this at a different time and that they were not watching this match as it took place and they just used stock footage. That's just a theory, My other thought process is Matt Taven wants the Pure Championship because it's the last championship in Ring of Honor that he has not held. I understand that. But with the Pure division and the Pure style wrestling, he doesn't really appeal to that. And we've seen him trying to do that over the past couple weeks and build up a case to get a title shot. I'm just going to hope that he doesn't end up beating all these Pure wrestlers, loses the title match, and then just drops out of the Pure division, making the other Pure wrestlers look weak and just like they could be beaten by an outsider very easily. So I'm somewhat spoiling the end of this match. That wasn't really the case. But Josh Woods is kind of like the top Pure wrestler on ROH that's not the champion. I could include Katsuyori Shibata, but Josh Woods competes more frequently than Shibata. So getting into the match, though, Taven uses his first rope break attempt after an armbar. This leads to Woods targeting the arm after this. Woods gets his knees up after Taven attempts a lion salt. Woods follows this up with a chaos theory, one of my favorite moves in wrestling. And then he attempts to apply an armbar after this, but Taven rolls him up to pick up the victory. So it was a quick victory after this. So it kind of helped my case that I was building to where Woods dominated the match, but just like a slip-up cost him the victory, so Taven did like really outclass him in the Pure style of wrestling. After this, Lee Moriarty comes out and points at the title, and Taven welcomes him into the ring, and Moriarty wanted nothing to do with that. As now, we have an emergency Minion Empowerment meeting, and I've said this several times over the past couple of emergency memes. This was 100% not an emergency. This was not an emergency. And I feel that this definitely could have been done over email or something else because it essentially just recapped something that happened prior. And I will be 100% confused with y'all. Honest with y'all. I'm still confused on the whole situation. But at Wrestle Dynasty, so I'm combining two segments into one here. So that is where confusing. That's not the only thing that's confusing about this. So I apologize for that genuinely. But at Full Gear, let me backtrack it either more. Because the big picture is Wrestle Dynasty, where there will be a 4-way women's match with women representing 4 different brands. CMLL, Stardom, AEW, and ROH. What confuses me is that I think that each brand is doing something different to have the woman representing the brand qualify. So in the sense of AEW, there's a mini tournament going on. Jamie Hayter and Queen Aminata had a match on Dynamite. Willow Nightingale and I believe Serena Deeb were scheduled to have a match. And then it's a tournament. So whoever wins that tournament will represent AEW. For ROH, I don't know if they're doing the same thing. If they're just doing a 4-way to get into the 4-way. Because they have not specified it for the ROH side. But the representatives of the ROH side include the women's champion Athena, the women's television champion Red Velvet, Billy Starks, and the number 1 contender to the women's television championship, legit Layla Hirsch. And you're like, when was that crowned? That was announced tonight because the first match announced for Final Battle is Red Velvet versus Layla Hirsch for the women's television championship. Again, I don't know. I would imagine if that one-on-one match was for the tournament, that they would have announced that as well. But for now, it's just a women's title match. There might be a 4-way involving all 4 of these women. Time will tell. And when it does, I'll be here to bring it up. But the meme part of this was essentially saying that the Athena World Tour that she's been planning for weeks and want to do for weeks is starting up and building momentum because Wrestle Dynasty in Japan is the big image here. So like I said, nothing that big of an emergency happened here. A lot of confusion was created upon myself, mainly because, like, I understand the AEW side is a tournament. CMLL and Stardom, I haven't looked into. Here, they announce the participants. They didn't announce if it's going to be singles matches in a tournament or just a straight up forward because it kind of seems that way. And leading to speculation with Final Battle, maybe they do Athena Starks there again. But time will tell with that. As now our next matchup is The Righteous versus J.D. Drake and Beef. The Righteous attacked prior to the Code of Honor, with it taking a while for the bell to ring, and Dutch and Beef are the first 2 legal competitors. While the referee's back is turned, Beef is choked with the bell that Dutch has been carrying around for the past couple weeks, saying that it is Dusty Rhodes. Drake is able to tag in and slam both of his opponents after doing so, but then he is hit with a black hole slam, an orange sunshine, and a Dusty Rhodes style elbow by Dutch, with the Righteous picking up the victory. And after the match, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara run out, with Dustin wanting to fight the Righteous, but Sammy not allowing him to do so until Dustin grabs a chair and the Righteous run off. So this is the last time. This is the last time I'm going to bring up Final Battle, but I'm intrigued to see if they do the pure title match with Lee Moriarty and Taven and this tag team title match before Final Battle, because they've been building it up for a while, and Final Battle is just 21 days away. Or do they just do those matches on TV? So time will tell with there, but it's just like, how much more can you do with this before it gets too repetitive? Because it kind of felt that way anyways. And I'm going to be the person to say it, because I think it almost every week. Where the hell are the Von Erichs? Like, I understand that Dustin Rhodes is focused in this tag team title rivalry, but I very much feel they brought the ROH six-man tag titles back for the Von Erichs and Dustin to have a big moment while they're doing those Texas tapings, because they've not been consistently on TV. I just remember 1 to 2 instances where they've been on TV. So I wonder. So it is what it is. As we have another matchup take place, this one being A.R. Fox versus John Silver, with A.R. Fox getting a good reception, which is well deserved. And he hits a dive to the outside early in the match. Once back in the ring, Silver lands several kicks, and then Fox continues to hit dives to the outside, even onto the other members of the Dark Order, who weren't even trying to interfere. They're just minding their business and got hit with a dive. Silver lands a big clothesline and a brain buster for a 2 count. Fox hits a cutter and a 450 splash to pick up the victory, as now will be the final time that I bring up Final Battle in the course of this video, because it is our throwback match of the week. The red pin is out, even though I've been showing it the whole video. This being from Final Battle 2009, a fight without honor, Chris Hero versus Eddie Kingston. Like I said, I hope they continue to do the trend of showing Final Battle matches from the Hammerstein Ballroom, which they did last week, and they did this week. I also want it to be known that they showed this match after they announced the women's TV title match, and the promo package for that match was building up their 2 matches they had. The what was it called? Texas Street Fight with Layla Hirsch and Diamante, and then the street fight that Red Velvet had with Diamante. So they're trying to build it up and present a fight without honor, which very similar. All 3 of the matches were very similar stipulations. But Hero, Kingston, Final Battle 09. The 2 brawl to the outside, starting the match off, and then Hero brings in a chain, which is used for the duration of this match, including it being wrapped around Kingston's face, and Hero lands some elbows with the chain wrapped around his arm. Kingston lands a Uranagi onto the chain, and then both men's shirts are ripped off, with chops following soon after. A barricade is brought into the ring, in which is placed in between the second rope, and while it eventually takes some time, a crazy maneuver happens as Hero flips Kingston off of the top rope into a powerbomb and landing onto the barricade, which gets a very, very close 3 count, but it was just 2. Kingston reverses an elbow attempt into a suplex and is followed by a lariat with the chain for another close 3 count, but only 2. Sarah Del Rey, who's at ringside with Chris Hero, gets involved long enough for Chris Hero to apply the golden elbow pad, which allegedly was metal, but who am I to confirm that, which is used on Kingston for a rolling elbow for a 2 count. Kingston is then able to retrieve the golden elbow pad for himself and hits an elbow to pick up the victory, leading us into our main event, a main event match I can get behind, a 6-man tag involving the Grizzled Young Vets and Pat Buck versus the Conglomeration. Conglomeration members Kyle O'Reilly, Rocky Romero, and Mark Briscoe. O'Reilly and Gibson start the match off mainly with a wrist lock exchange. From then we get frequent tags throughout the match. Romero is hit with a stun gun by the Grizzled Young Vets, stopping him from making a tag several times until Mark is able to tag in, bringing in the Redneck Kung Fu and a Fisherman Buster Suplex for a 2 count. Romero and Mark take out the Grizzled Young Vets on the outside while O'Reilly is able to apply an armbar onto Pat Buck for an immediate tap out and concluding this Thanksgiving edition of Ring of Honor. I made several slip-ups on this episode of this review, but I feel that they're all funny enough that I did not feel the need to just stop recording and redo them. So there's a special Thanksgiving treat for y'all there. But like I said, a quick episode of ROH. I definitely liked the main event match, and it was a quick episode. That's the best way that I could say it. As we're still on the road to Final Battle, I hope that every week we get more and more announcements for Final Battle, and they don't wait until the day of and day before to make all the announcements, because you got some time. Granted, I know that there's a lot of busy things going on in AEW with the Continental Classic, even though, again, you deadass have all those matches announced and planned for the month. You can spend some time over here with ROH, but that's just nitpicking. So I hope to see you all here again for next week's ROH TV review, episode number 93. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. Please stay safe, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, because I'm out.